Another Junkie short shot.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our first edition of our new podcast, Building Better DJs with the Beat Junkies.
Hey,
What's up? I'm Babu.
J-Rock.
Melody.
Mr. Chalk.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully you're applauding. I'm imagining sound effects applauding happening. But just talking DJing from our point of view. Coming to you live from Glendale from the Beat Junkie Institute of Sound. Today our topic is DJing with vinyl versus DJing digitally. Something that we all have dealt with directly and has definitely impacted our careers and the way we DJ and the way we play the music and listen to music. So, fellas, obviously we all started off on vinyl, right?
Yep.
And I kind of want to start with where was the first time you guys maybe encountered playing or even seeing digital DJing, the possibilities of it? Like, what were the first things you saw or heard of early on?
Ooh. What was the that program? Final Scratch. That was the first time I saw it. I was actually hosting some event, and Craze was there, and Craze was actually rocking on the Final Scratch.
So that was made by Stanton. Stanton Final Scratch.
Mm-hmm.
I actually never messed with it, but it was similar to what we're talking about now. It was a program on a laptop.
Yeah.
And it would have an interface, and you had vinyl control,
control
sending
records.
signals back and forth.
And it looked crazy to me. I mean, nothing had come out before that. So when I first saw that, I was like, "Ooh, what is this?" And he was freaking it as always. Craze was, but I had no idea that that was the direction we were going. Because look, years later now, here we all are on computers. And he was the first one. That was like early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Early 2000s.
Yeah. I remember seeing that at NAMM.
Yeah, it was NAMM, A-Track.
Yeah.
That was the first
That's right. Yeah.
That was the first
But I
time
remember
ever.
it was still they still had some bugs to work out, so it wasn't all the way
up.
set yet.
That was Final Scratch?
Yeah.
No, wasn't it Serato?
That was the Stanton one. Final Scratch.
That was the first
the one I saw was Final Scratch.
Whatever. I don't remember, but it was A-Track was the first. I think it was Serato though.
It was Serato when it was just a plug-in on Pro Tools.
There we go.
I think that's what you're talking about.
And he was DJing though with it. He was getting busy, but it did crash a lot. But I think it was A-Track, and I think it was Serato. Because isn't Serato before Final Scratch anyway?
No,
Final Scratch was first.
Final Scratch was
I remember
first.
probably two different days or events, but mine was I remember NAMM, Final Scratch.
Yeah,
for sure.
NAMM.
And it was buggy, so that was my first time ever seeing like that technology. So out the gate, I wasn't really convinced. I was like, oh, this is,
After that, I saw somebody, some DJ who I guess he was working for Stanton at the time, who was trying to showcase it at a DMC, and it crashed on him 1,000,000 times that night. So yeah, I was like, after that, I was like, okay.
What about you, Babs?
Well, I remember Serato as a plugin, and I remember I was a big fan because I started trying to use it like to scratch in the studio, not to play out. But Serato also had this awesome thing I loved called Pitch and Time. So I was doing pitch. They gave me both plugins, so I was messing with both, but I was messing with Pitch and Time more, and that was more for time stretching samples and speeding stuff and slowing stuff and keeping it in key still. But then, I guess it counts. For me, the first time I took digital DJing serious, and I'm not sure if this was before or after Final Scratch or Serato, but was Pioneer CDJs. I don't know what iteration of the first one, but I literally I want to say it might have been a hair after. I don't think anyone was taking Final Scratch serious because of everything you guys were talking about.
Yeah.
But I remember one day Revolution called me up out of nowhere, and he's like, "Hey, bro, check this out." He puts the phone down, and all I hear is
Bunch of cuts.
and I'm like, "Awesome, Rev, that sounded sick. What's new?" And he's like, "Yo, that was a CDJ, bro. That was a CD. I went and saw this at the store, man, and I was so blown away. I bought it on the spot, and I brought it home."
Oh, damn.
And I was like, "What?" So like that was the first time I really took it serious, because I obviously bought myself one, and then even just for the studio side of it, I used it to do a lot of scratches. I remember Liquid Junkies, probably a few Dilated records. That was the only way I was able to scratch some of these things, and I was having problems with sample clearance and stuff. So we had to like create samples that I wouldn't get in trouble for scratching. So that thing came actually in handy. But it wasn't until I saw J-Rock actually play out with Serato that I really was like,
Nightlife, baby.
yeah, Nightlife, exactly, Jay. I remember like we all had gotten
Hollywood
it.
Boulevard. I
Yep.
remember that night.
Knitting Factory.
Yeah.
We were all, I think we'd all been gifted it already. We'd all been talking to Serato.
Everyone
like I
was
said.
afraid to.
So this is like
Yeah.
this is like 2004, right? This is like early.
I don't remember what year.
I wanna say
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
like
04.
2004 because I
Yeah.
didn't get it to 2005.
Flavors
Actually.
was
Yeah.
still going. So what year is Flavors?
Oh, that was 98 to 2006.
So probably 2004.
Yeah, it was 2004 because I remember Jay came and to the show Flavors that night, and he was playing a mix. He goes, "What you think of the mix?" I was like, "Oh man, it's cool as always." J Rock Funky getting crazy dope on the turntables. He goes, "It's Serato." I said, "What's Serato?" He goes,
He said it like
"Baby."
that. Serato.
Yeah, he goes, "It's Serato," exactly like that. I said, "What's Serato, man?" He goes, "It's the digital, man. Everything's digital. It's on a computer. I'm playing everything off a computer." I was like, "Word?
Doubles of everything.
Doubles of everything." That's exactly what he said. He goes, "Man, I got doubles of everything."
I was hype on doubles of
now.
everything.
Yeah, me too.
Exactly. Like, man, I got everything now.
I still have them
Yep.
CDs, man.
You
Used
do?
to roll up to Flavors hyped.
Yeah, he was super pumped.
Nonsense mixes. But yeah, we all had it, right? They all gifted it us up from
Yeah,
in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they gave us like the little, like a starter pack with the box and the
SL1?
yeah, and the installation disc.
I was trying to
and
think, why
vinyl.
would we even have a computer back then, though?
I had one for Pro Tools. Pro Tools.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
for
yeah,
I had a
inbox,
laptop.
inbox.
Yeah.
Never mind.
The
You're right.
inbox,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're right.
Yeah,
all had
because this
that.
all happened at the
Okay.
same time. I started using Reason. I was using Pro Tools. It like made sense. So, but like going back to what we're all talking about is that Jay was the first one to actually break it out one night. So that's our regular club that we did in the early 2000s, Nightlife.
I missed that club.
And so we're up to that point, we're all just doing the
Good
regular
times.
thing. I bring a big old bag. You bring a
Big
big
old
old,
bag,
you know,
yeah.
we all just play vinyl like we usually do. But Jay came up with the laptop and like, we're all just like, what the hell?
He still brought the bag that night though too.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in
It
case.
was still pretty new, but like, I think we all agree after we saw you playing that night, Jay, we're all like, it gave us a confidence to be like, damn.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Guinea pig.
you know what's crazy is no, you know what I remember though? You were playing in relative mode that night, and I remember bugging you for 2 weeks because I couldn't understand.
What was going on?
You're like, man, it doesn't skip. I'm in relative mode.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
you kept trying to explain it to
Okay.
me. It's like, no, man, you don't have to. No, you don't have to rewind it back, man. You just hit the button, man. You were just trying to explain it to me, and I just.
Cue button.
But yeah, that was crazy because it was a short span of time that, like, from there, really quickly, I think we all converted.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Really quickly. I don't know. Within the next 6 months, we were all like,
I remember after you guys got it, I went and bought mine, my computer and Serato all at the same time, and I just set it in my room right next to my turntables, and it sat there for like a month. So I was scared to death of it, man, because I was like, you know, I'd heard so many horror stories at that point about people's computers crashing and things like that, and I just didn't want to go through that. So I was like, oh man. Then you know, I saw Jeff on it, saw Revolution on it, saw Jay on it live, and that was what finally convinced me to open the box and finally get it started. And then from there, it was on.
I think, correction, I think you saw Rev on Torque.
No, I saw Rev on Torque afterwards. I saw Rev on Serato though. Torque.
Shouts out to Rev.
Yeah, Revolution.
Torque.
Yeah, he was on Torque for a long time.
Yeah, so you know what's crazy is I even still remember those first few months of playing Serato out, but I'd still bring a gang of records,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and slowly that bag of records
Got
became
smaller and smaller.
and smaller.
Yeah.
Then it just became like, oh, I got a couple of extra records in my backpack next to my Serato vinyl,
Just
you know.
in case.
But yeah, it's crazy. So now we all play digitally, obviously. How often are you guys using vinyl or playing out with vinyl or dealing with vinyl at all?
I still keep a couple records with me in my bag, just in case. But if I haven't done an all vinyl set in a while, but I still mess with records here at the school, of course, and at my house, but not out, unless it's like a special event. I'm always down for that, but yeah, haven't done one in a while.
Yeah, I've been using vinyl more lately, probably like in the last 3 to 4 months. Same, just obviously instructing here at school, all the warm-up drills and stuff, scratching on records, and then just even practicing, like scratch practice. Like I'll get away from
Yeah.
Serato, like, you know, a couple days a week.
Do you
and
notice
just,
the
break out.
difference
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
when you start getting
Yeah.
busy?
I like
Yeah.
actually scratching more on vinyl than I
Yeah.
do on Serato.
For sure.
It just
A lot more.
responds better, especially when you get into like the really fine hand movements.
For
Like
sure.
that's where it really translates like better than I feel like Serato does. using
No,
a
no
record.
gigs with the vinyl?
Nah, I wish. I'm down. I've been like
No
recording at
45
home.
gig even?
No.
What about you, Babs?
To be honest with you, I mean,
Just digging?
I use vinyl more than ever because of school, you know. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Besides school.
always digging, always like I'm a firm believer of even with the access to the internet, I feel like I'm cheating unless it's coming off a record. So I still buy old records, but I can't front. I'm not buying doubles like I was in the '90s of
for
all,
sure.
all the songs I love. I do a lot of digital digging too, and you know, I just purchase music still, but digitally. You know, I still like to support
Digital
artists.
digging.
You know, support an artist on iTunes or Bandcamp or whatever. You know what I mean? And you know, I try to treat my digital collection like my vinyl collection, and you know, try to keep you know, it's different. I don't know. It's crazy to manage. You know, records too, and you probably use records.
Would you buy something on iTunes and then make it a note to yourself to buy that on vinyl when you see
Sometimes.
It depends. Yeah, I think
if you really enjoy the product of the release, like your band, what's your name?
Krong Bin. Yeah, Krong Bin.
Krong Bin?
Yeah, Krong Bin. I bought the digital and I bought the vinyl when I saw it at Amoeba for sure. So I try to, but that's few and far between. Most of the time, if I'm buying records, it's like I went to the
You're
record
just
jungle,
digging, yeah,
or went
no
to
new stuff.
exactly. But you probably use vinyl the most out of all of us, Jay. Like how
Rhett, I would say probably is the
plays a lot.
most.
Yeah, he's been
Rhett
doing a lot
probably
of-
is
he's
the
done a lot of vinyl
most
gigs.
hardcore in the paint with the 45s.
Yeah.
I don't really get too much of a time to play the vinyl, but I find myself wanting to go back to play vinyl because there's so many problems with Serato through the night as I DJ, a crash, or I got to worry about is my needle going to be dirty? Am I going to get the garble while I'm DJing?
Yeah, go to internal mode real quick.
Am I got the, you know what I mean? Like that. It's still, I love DJing with the Serato, but I think just the vinyl thing, just so much.
Yeah.
We started from it, so
Yeah.
we know how to even utilize that for our own advantage. And
For sure.
but I will say this: the funny thing is, when you use vinyl, I catch myself
Looking
Thinking
for the
for-
mixer.
no
for the
thinking
button.
I have a
For
cue
the cue
point.
Yeah.
Like I hit the.
I've done that a
Get the
couple
mixer. Yeah.
I'll be DJing and I hit the cue point. Like, oops, that's
Yeah.
not a cue point. It's the real record.
You know,
I
it's,
do that all the time.
What's cool is that I've recorded like a few mixes and just practice at home, just DJing, not so much scratching. But I feel like things that we do so easily with Serato, like Jason, like you hit a cue point or you have a loop set, like
Or
you
just
can
the
still-
relative mode.
That's
You can-
gone.
yeah. But no, but I mean, we did that stuff back in the day on records, and it's like it actually feels really good again to like have to really kind of earn, like being able to.
Yeah.
accomplish
Yeah, but
stuff
I'm
like
saying
that.
even
Like,
when you're
it's
trying
fun.
to, how about when you're trying to mix in a song
Oh yeah,
and it's not loop though? There's
Oh,
no
yeah,
loop,
yeah.
so you still have to mix in regularly. You have
Yeah.
you have to get busy.
You know, there's a lot of things about DJing on vinyl that are actually, I think, easier, and there's obviously things that are harder. But like you guys said, it's kind of like riding a bike. So I feel like there's a satisfaction to DJing with vinyl, and it's funny. I feel like sometimes when you're in a box like that, it pushes you to be more creative. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
it
for
pushes
sure.
you to, that's why our touch is like the way it is. I look at people who never really dealt with vinyl and just looking.
How they touch the record.
See, but
Yeah.
you can
Heavy-handed.
you can
Yeah.
say that the same goes for Serato though. Serato makes you DJ in a whole nother way.
For sure.
Yeah, that's
No,
true.
it definitely opens up
Yeah.
a lot of doors.
Yep.
It definitely opens up things that you would never be able to do, which I love about Serato as well. I think they're both great things. I think we all agree that, it's a blessing to have both. I look at it like it's just amazing to be able to touch sound, and it's a dream come true to I could record something and start manipulating it right away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You, like you said, dilate it.
It's amazing.
To be able to
Yeah,
have vocals of something and scratch.
exactly. I mean, in so many of the contexts that we DJ, I mean, I can't imagine what it did for DJing on the radio. Guys,
yeah.
like all of a sudden just bringing in your laptop instead of bringing in a crate of
It changed
50
everything.
records.
They got a
Like,
computer there for you. You ain't bringing in
well,
nothing.
Well, now they do. Now they do. But back in the
You
day,
got
when,
one computer at that station. Don't touch it.
that's now. But back then, when like in 2004, 2005, when we started bringing the computers up, it meant a lot. Like like when I started bringing a computer to my show, I would bring my bag would get smaller and smaller and smaller every time. So it was just it was an adjustment, for me. But I adapted pretty quick.
Was there a drawback from You too, Mello. Is there a drawback from labels giving you music at that point?
No, it
When
was
did
even
that-
more. It was more CDs that were being given
was
to
more
me.
CDs
yeah.
and
and emails, downloads, of course, were starting to like come.
That
more.
was becoming more at
I was
that
still
time.
getting records though, and I wasn't even really on the radio. And I was at Kid Julio, but
Mhm.
yeah, the records they didn't stop coming. But yeah, now that I think about it, like I was definitely seeing less package. You guys came to the house, like you used to see like
Yeah,
I
you used to
have
get
piles.
mad packages. man.
Piles,
Same thing
yeah.
for Chalk. Don't sleep.
It-
Chalk
it-
was
it,
No,
it,
for
it was
sure, of
it was
course.
Christmas
Chalk
every
got
day
a
at my house.
truckload. They
Every
dropped off
day.
a pallet.
Oh yeah, it was Christmas every day at my
Give
house.
these to the rest of the people at the station too during the mixing meeting.
8 copies of the new Busta Rhymes album.
One thing I will say though, when I started mixing on Serato or DJing on Serato, I stayed in absolute mode for that first year, just because
sure.
at that time
Wow.
relative mode wasn't stable. So like even if you would hit the cue point, it would still drift off a lot. And so I stayed in absolute mode until they finally got relative mode right. And then when they finally did that, that's when I made the switch. to
So
relative
you
mode.
weren't using any cue points or anything.
I was, but I would needle drop to my cue point
You know,
by looking at the screen and looking at my cue and dropping to the
I
cue
was such a
point.
dinosaur. I just stayed in absolute mode because I could not wrap my head around relative mode. It was just my mind was just so like, you put a needle to a record. There's a song. There's one groove. Here's another song. Like I couldn't wrap it around like this whole mode and what the technology actually enabled us to do.
doesn't skip.
Yeah, it doesn't
No, I
skip.
just couldn't. I
You can
couldn't
kick
fathom
it.
and you know, and
Hit
that's
the record while it's playing.
and that's something that a lot of like you know, the younger generation like really takes for granted, man. Especially I learned from like DJing with a rap group and trying to do a rap show with turntables and vinyl. It was like guaranteed. Like every time we'd hit a certain
Skip.
point in the set, the guys would jump around the stage.
Uh-oh, panic zone.
Exactly. And you know, obviously, you know, Evan Rock were always
work the angles.
they were always cool about it. You know, they didn't do the typical rapper thing where
everybody.
they blame the DJ or the sound man.
Babu, what's going on back there?
Oh yeah, blaming it on him. They jumped and made the record skip.
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank
Babu,
God.
bring that back.
Seriously.
Don't have a
'Cause
choice. I am.
They knew.
Stop
They
jumping.
knew. But I remember I would do crazy stuff. I had squash balls. I put squash balls under the turntable. I'd have on my
Tape.
rider cement
Rubber bands.
cement blocks under
Oh,
my
yeah, cinder blocks.
turntables. Just
Yeah.
crazy things. And you know, that's the dope thing about Serato now, man. Is like just to be able to play on a stage
But-
and you know,
So here's the drawback to that, though.
Talk
So-
about it.
So now that I don't know if this is true, but this is my own. These views are my own. So, but I feel when you go to clubs now, if you play vinyl, the dude's not set up for that anymore.
No, they're not.
You can't go
They're
to
not.
a club and throw on a record
as far as the
anymore.
settings.
Yeah, as far
Yeah,
as
yeah.
the sound.
Because
dude.
no one's sound checking on vinyl at
No,
all.
it's all everyone just
Digital.
plugged in,
Yeah.
Good point.
and it's a wrap.
No, and even if you, the worst thing to do is to try to play some vinyl on a night where everyone else is playing laptops because you get up there and everyone's already playing like plus 20.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
You know, so
everything's already in the red.
you put on one record and it's just like just feedback
Yeah.
central. You got to turn it
Yeah.
down so low that everyone can hear themselves talking to each other at the club all of a sudden. It went
Yeah,
from
but
here
that's
to here.
because the sound dude no more. No one's going there and sound checking
Properly.
on vinyl. Yeah,
Right.
those days are done where we used to get there early and because you remember when we did sound check back then, you would have to tell them, "Hey, roll off." They would, you
Yeah.
know, the guy
Turn
would
the
be
bass
on
down a little bit.
Roll off 500 dBs of the whoop, and they would
Right.
be yelling back and forth until they
Yeah.
rolled off enough bass
Right.
Yeah.
for there's no more of
The
that.
sound guys these days don't know how to do that anymore.
They might for the rock bands. They probably have to do that for the rock bands. But once they see a DJ rig, they probably just hit,
Yeah, you have like a
hit the
go-to
two
or something.
buttons.
Yeah.
hit,
Oh, you just playing
Preset.
records?
Oh,
Okay.
not even records. He just sees, you know,
No laptop.
at this point, he just sees
Left,
even
right.
the DJ.
Left, right, 10.
Yeah, 10. their night's done. Just monitor the
Because
sound.
of even CDJs for that reason. Because you don't have to really even sound check with a CDJ. You can just go to plug in and play.
Yeah.
You know, there's no feedback. There's nothing.
I think it's a good thing though. I think like shoot, you know, especially like you got people coming to pay and see you play, like you want things to sound and be as professional as possible. You know what I'm saying? But,
For sure.
But I feel like, you know, I still like Chalk said, like you know, I think opportunities to play vinyl in a special occasion where they do get a proper sound guy that tunes the room, and makes it proper, I still think there's great room for that. You know, vinyl's not going anywhere. There's something about vinyl I think we all agree is
think
just
it's coming.
special, you know?
I hate to sound crazy, but it's coming back as far as DJs playing out. I see
For
more and more
sure.
DJs playing out on vinyl.
Okay, let's talk about that.
And also nowadays, since we all know since people know that when they get up there and play vinyl that it's going to sound different, there's a lot of tools now that helps you play the vinyl, as far as the isolation feet, as far as the I don't know if you see when people play vinyl they have a metal clamp, a metal weight on top.
Those. Yeah.
And I feel like those are more prevalent now. A lot of people are being, I need that now to play vinyl to be able to compensate for all that other nonsense that's going on before me.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what though? Okay, kind of talking shit,
No, go ahead.
but
Feel free.
you know, because I think when I look at digital,
Yeah.
I think we all agree it kind of made the entry into the DJ game really easy.
sure.
It's 100%.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
But here's the funny thing to me these days, guys, because I'm glad
Everyone's a DJ.
Jay brought up the fact that vinyl's kind of popular now. We can see it at Urban Outfitters. They got a whole wall of vinyl and
Yeah,
cassettes. It's really
I don't
dope.
even mean it just by that. I just mean by a lot of people DJing are playing vinyl
Yeah,
again. A lot
for
of
sure.
vinyl DJs are coming back
Yeah.
out.
There's an appreciation for it. More.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that side of it I do appreciate. But what the part I'm kind of talking shit about is I do feel like the way there's an easy entry into the DJ game because you can go digital and buy a laptop.
100%.
And there's also
A
the other side.
controller.
There's also another side of it too, because now a cat can just have money, go to Discogs,
Yeah.
blow some loot, all of a sudden have a really rare record collection of XYZ, may not be able to blend two records or even properly put the needle down or, have any kind of, but it's another way I kind of think that's, something to talk about, man. How do you feel about cats like that, Jay? I mean, I'm not going to act like I'm some keep it real record buyer, but,
No,
do you know what I'm saying though?
No, 100% know what you're saying. But on that tip, Discogs really is a record store at this moment. It's basically just shopping at Turntable Lab or
For sure.
shopping at.
I use it too, of course.
So everyone and their mom that I know that buys records has at least bought one or two records off of Discogs anyhow.
Right.
Yeah.
And they have to come to the school to get some lessons to learn how to DJ. Number one, that's
For real.
For sure. For sure.
But I like that because there's actually the dude that plays Willow from what movie is that? Lord of the Rings? Or what movie is that?
Yeah, he has huge feet.
Elijah Wood.
Yes.
So he's a hardcore nerd on records. He's
Really?
What's his DJ
he's
name?
DJ Do Over.
DJ
Oh,
Wisdom.
really?
Yeah.
Wisdom.
I didn't know that.
What's his DJ name again?
I don't know. DJ Willow. I don't know.
Anyways, yeah,
DJ Wood.
He's real with it.
He's real with it.
yeah.
But I don't know about his blending skills per se. You know what I mean?
He did
but
okay. He
He's
did
just
okay.
a collector.
He did
But
okay.
he
Selector.
buys records. He
Yeah.
knows his wax. He knows what's good. He knows what's dope.
There's a lot of those type of DJs out
And,
there.
and nowadays it's so easy to look up stuff and you can just go online. They have books with lists. They have
Playlists
you can
exposed.
follow
Yeah.
follow somebody.
Yeah.
One person I'll say that's real dope. It's a nice follow on Twitter. Someone that will hip you to the game is Dame Funk. If you follow him on Twitter or anything, he's always some record.
Yeah.
Putting up rare
Putting up
records.
a
I've
rare
seen him tweet that
record,
stuff out.
and,
Yeah.
and that's dope for the cats. That man, I want to play something that he might play out, or
Right.
So it's cool because then you can go on Discogs and
Find it.
look it on. Oh shit, it's $200. Maybe not. I won't be playing with Dame Funk's playing.
They got a single.
You got to have the pockets too for
Yeah, no,
Discogs.
that's true. I was
Discogs, I
gonna
feel,
say
is also a curse because it's everyone just going for the highest price.
Yeah.
For trying to sell it, unless it's some shit that's everywhere. A Fleetwood Mac album or
Right.
But if it's some rare shit, someone's going to they're trying to charge arm and a leg up there. So Record Jungle is and that's where the vinyl versus digital thing comes in. Since we came from vinyl, we're used to going record shopping.
Going to the
And
record store.
I feel we have more patience than going for the instant gratification on
For sure.
a Discogs or,
Right.
we're like, we'll catch it. And
Yeah.
we're going to catch that
Right.
somewhere.
Well, the funny thing to me is I think it's whether your entry into the game is you got money and I can buy vinyl and the knowledge is now accessible to everybody, or it's I can buy a laptop and technology and, and that's my entry to the game. Either way, I think the common denominator is that, like you said, Jay, I think, just because you have access to all that, it still can't replace the hours of dedication and time that goes into researching music, practicing techniques, putting in actual work of going out and playing and failing, and you know what I'm saying? Which I think, like I said, like however you get into the game or wherever you're dropped into the timeline is it's not in anyone's control, and I'm not going to knock anyone for it. But
I remember when people first started getting Serato, the big thing was to say, "Oh, I got so and so's hard drive. I got all this music." Remember those days? I got Jazzy Jeff's hard drive. Man, I'm hooked up now. Like, no, you're not. You got to learn all this music now. If you really got the hard drive, you got to educate yourself on all this music and how to present it, and how to mix it, how to play it.
right, and then Jazzy Jeff's hard drive didn't come with the directions on how to use your hands.
No, it did not.
You know what I mean? How to
How to
have
use
some
your
sort of
ears.
taste, have some sort of
Just because you got his hard drive don't mean you're a DJ like him.
Exactly, and that was the big thing back in those days when people first were getting on Serato. I remember that so vividly.
I remember being out in Vegas. This is probably like 2008 or. Yeah.
Sorry, Jeff, your hard drive got out there like that.
I never got it.
I never got it.
I didn't get that.
I heard Jeff's hard drive.
I heard about it.
Which one do you speak of?
Which year?
Yeah, which year for real?
But Jeff is that type of dude. He's like Dame Funk. Jeff is that type of dude.
He shares.
Where he
Shout out to
shares.
Jeff,
He don't.
for
He,
sure. Yep.
he probably gave his hard drive to someone and
Yeah.
said, "Here you go, homeboy," and then that dude got too hype.
Yeah, Started passing.
But that's a plus in the digital age where you can share something that quickly and you can actually bond with the homies and just pull out the computer and be like, "Man, you got this?
all you need is a
You
flash
got this?
drive.
You got this?" And you guys, you can go back and forth on that whole
In
thing.
fact, you don't even need a flash drive anymore. You can just airdrop.
Yeah,
It's so crazy.
Dropbox it
Dropbox it.
or AirDrop.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
How do you feel about
you were
that,
saying-
Babs? Though
Wait a second. Mello, you were saying something about 2008. You were saying something.
Oh yeah, no. Just going back to the whole using technology is kind of like an instant entryway into the game. Like I remember being out in Vegas and there was this kid. Like the kid was literally a bartender, and because it was so easy to become a DJ, he went out and bought a laptop and he came and played at a pool party that I was doing, and he was on after me, and he was terrible. Like didn't know
course
what
he
from
was.
what. Files weren't even marked correctly. Like had no clue what he was doing.
BPMs all over the place.
But fast forward, like I've DJed with him probably 3 or 4 more times in the last like 2 years,
I gotta get
and
back
he
to work,
eventually.
Which one to drink?
But he figured it out. I mean, he figured it out. I don't know.
Or
like,
somebody help him.
Yeah, that one of the two.
or sync,
But,
the infamous.
he's not
sync
killing.
button.
He's not killing it. You know what I mean? But I mean, he just knows
He can
his
get-
way how to navigate.
yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like if anything, like point of the story is just like the learning curve. I feel like has just decreased significantly.
For sure.
So
Yeah, and I think like, I don't really like to sound like I'm old and bitter and you got to learn this way DJing. This is real DJing. That's real DJing. But I will say, like, for everyone out there that does call themselves a DJ, just like any other craft, you really got to know the shoulders that you stood on to get where you're at. Like whether you're a chef, whether you're a designer, whatever it is, like you just didn't make all this shit up.
No.
And so for people who are in that early entry point of the game, if this is something that you end up doing lifelong and you really love, this all makes sense what we're saying. But at the same time, I'm really happy to see DJing where it's at. It's really amazing.
Oh, yeah.
We have careers. We see people have huge careers off of DJing, and like it's not what it was when we were kids. You know what I'm saying? And it's amazing to see where it's at. But I think it's really nice to see. I love seeing someone like how A-Track or Craze or really Z-Trip. How these we got a lot of brothers out there who really incorporate real DJing, no matter what the medium they're using, whether it's vinyl or digital.
A-Track kills it with that one.
It's beyond him up there. His equipment's really hooked up. He's really doing techniques. He's really pushing the envelope and opening people's minds to, like how hard this job really is. And you know, I don't really want to knock other people like, you know, who don't do that. I'm not saying everyone got to get up there and be some crazy skilled DJ, but they've got to know the knowledge at least. You know, I loved seeing like. Did you guys ever see that old footage of DJ Khaled popping up on the internet not too long ago?
Oh, yeah.
Him just getting
Busy.
busy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw those. Yeah.
Who would have thought?
That comes from him being on vinyl, though.
Amazing.
When,
I
when I
loved
first
it.
saw him,
I
he was on
loved it.
vinyl. Yeah.
No, it's a vine. Isn't it him on vinyl cutting it up, or is it
No,
digital?
Serato actually.
It's on Serato.
Well,
that the one you're talking about?
the one I'm talking about is it's a video of him back in the day.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
I
okay,
saw that
all right,
one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
And then,
my-
and then I was gonna say I was talking about the more recent one where he was at a big, huge concert.
I've only seen
Yeah.
the back in the day one where it's like in the radio station room or something, and he's just getting busy.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I saw him. When
Yeah.
I can't remember what record he's doing, but it was one of his own concerts. It was, you know, he has someone DJing for him while he's rapping,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But he got on the decks.
Yeah, he started doing like It Takes Two or something.
He
like
learned
hit it.
after
Yeah.
that,
and he started transforming it. The crowd went crazy.
After
They were
that
like,
Coachella or whatever fiasco,
Right.
where they do whatever rave that was. Rave.
Anyway,
Don't even call them raves no more.
hey, talking about digital and vinyl, you guys, how has travel changed for everybody? You know, for me, it made me feel really good to like not always be nervous waiting for my record
Ooh.
bag to come down. Baggage claim.
Shortcut. Remember Shortcut got his gank? His records ganked like
He
that.
got
Couple
his,
records.
for real? Oh
They got
man,
into his
that,
crate and like
They just opened his
peeled a
box
few.
and
Yep.
took a couple.
that was always a nightmare for me.
Closed the box. Here you go, brother. Oh, Big Daddy
Keep the
Kane.
rest. Keep the rest.
But that was always a nightmare, man. And I know, like, once everyone switched to digital, and once I started going flying a lot, like it was good to kind of like carry your collection with you as a carry on instead of like
Yeah.
checking it in and hopefully it'd come down that baggage claim, like I was saying earlier. Like, so how did travel change for you guys, especially for someone like Jay and Babs, and for you guys who travel a lot?
You just said it all. What do you mean?
It just made it tremendously easier.
Yeah.
I mean, I went from like, especially for something like Dilated with that much on the line, I would have to, roll with like multiple copies of every record we used in the show, so I might have 4 copies of every record, which equaled me carrying a pretty big box of records that I wouldn't be able to carry on. So I remember having a big Anvil record box.
Yeah.
I'd zip tie that motherfucker up before I check
2
it in.
locks on it.
I'd have a second set of records out where, half of them would be in that box and then have another in my personal bag that I would carry on. So just in case something happened to that. And no matter what, like I'd always walk around with like, I got to be able to execute the show with what's on my back.
Yeah.
And, but now that with the digital, obviously it's like, okay, shoot, I can have a laptop and a couple hard drives on me and I can feel safe and secure and it fits. I don't have to check that bad boy in at all, obviously.
Yeah.
It's tremendous plus on the digital side. That's for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Another thing that I used to like too was that sometimes, like, you go into a gig or whatever, I might not even be prepared for the gig. I can actually prepare for the gig on the plane, make my setup. You know what I'm saying? I know you could talk about that a lot too, Mello.
Practice mode. No, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's definitely one of the benefits, the pros of having digital, and just obviously the convenience, not having to bring all that stuff. Like, I was lucky, like through the years, like knock on wood, like I never had that issue, like someone opening my Anvil
neither did
crate
I.
because I checked in. Yeah, we used to go overseas,
whack.
and out of state, all that stuff, like with records. Like, yeah, that never happened to me, so I got lucky. So.
You know what's crazy makes me think of is like, right now we have the convenience of having so many gigs of music. Like we're prepared for anything, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm lucky enough that I never had to play. I didn't play weddings. I didn't play like, I only played like underground specialty type gigs where, so even when I was bringing vinyl, I knew what I was playing. You know what I mean? I didn't have to pack for like, what if they request it? None of that. And I look at old footage of even like Kid Capri not too long ago posted a picture of him DJing in the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, the crates.
And it's like a wall. It's like, dude, that's like my record collection at home. You'd bring that out to the gig?
Yeah, he would.
And like, we hear all the legendary stories, people talking about, I understand why they had record boys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're dealing with a wall of records.
Yeah.
And you're playing records a mile a minute.
Yeah, well,
like,
they wasn't bringing one crate.
not at all.
Like 10 crates.
So new DJs out there, like, we're so blessed. We literally have hundreds of crates in our laptops.
Doubles of everything.
Thousands of songs.
Just
Different genres. Whatever we want.
really amazing. So, that obviously those are the pluses of digital.
I want to actually, I want to. You guys were talking about scratching and that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between the scratching with the sound of the vinyl and the sound of the MP3? What do you guys notice?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think in a controlled situation, like you're in your own home lab, or I'm listening to music in a like not a live venue, vinyl wins every time, right? Like if I'm listening to an MP3 versus my nice controlled situation, my record player at home, I prefer the vinyl for sound quality for sure. Even on when we talk about scratching, like, you know, obviously like there's still not enough zeros and ones to fuck with real vinyl to me in my mind.
So that's what I mean. Does it get it for you? Is it there? It's not 90. It's not 100%.
It's
98? 98?
It's 98% because I feel like sometimes, like if I'm scratching on records, I know exactly where the sound is at. I'm right on top of it. Boom. Sometimes with Serato, there's a little latency there.
Drift.
So yeah, it'll drift a little bit. So I have to like kind of maneuver my hand or try to find where the tip of the sound is at sometimes. So, you know, that's the difference for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'd say it's gotten better. Like I'd put it like in the 96 to 98 range. Like, but I definitely remember like 2-3 years ago, you know, before, you know, key lock and all that stuff, like you would definitely be able to hear
you scratch
the digital,
with key lock on?
digital. No. Because if you do like, you know, you go to bend the sound or, you know what I mean? You want to do like a drag. You really want the drag to like
same note.
Enunciate.
Yeah. But that was a drag I did. Fresh.
Yeah. There's no, no, for sure. But no, it's definitely, I think it's gotten better. Like, but there's still, I think for me, I think it's just those very, very fine like hand movements, like those very like the braking and like, you know, those slow drags, whether it's forward or backward. That's where, but it's not even really that bad anymore. Like it's pretty close.
Sure.
I say it's pretty close. It
gets better every day.
Yeah, it's better than it's ever been.
It's better. You do all the new scratches, Babs. So what is it easier on? It's still easier with the vinyl to do those?
Definitely. I mean, I just know, I mess with both enough to know, like I have to make a little adjustment when I'm on the computer or when I'm on the vinyl.
Do you guys have special settings in your computer for not special, but
just no key
do you go in? No, but I mean, do you go behind
when you open calibration?
Do you go and set up and then move the thing to the left and move the fader cut off a little bit?
I do. I usually just
have you done all that before you even?
I just try to have it like in the middle sometimes, and then if it's not still acting right, then I'll try to make an adjustment from there. But I always start off right in the middle.
What do you mean? What's in the middle?
With my needle calibration.
The thing,
the cursor,
the circle
estimate.
thing.
Yeah.
The thing you hit estimate, it always jumps to the right.
So my estimate is always going to be in the middle, and then if I need to adjust, I adjust. You know, accordingly. Yeah.
Babs.
Yeah, I just
you just
push it. I push it more to the sensitive side.
Let's go.
If I'm
close to the analog as possible.
Let's say if I'm in a situation, I'm at home and I'm recording something.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna push it more to the left to be more sensitive.
So to the left is
more closer to vinyl.
Is for
exactly
vinyl?
To the left. Yeah. But then if I'm out playing and I know I'm dealing with feedback, I'm dealing with vibrations, I'm doing doubles and I got to deal with all that, then obviously I'm going to be to the middle, to the right more to compensate for that. But I agree with Mello. I think it's tremendously better than it's ever been. And then, you know, even just across the board, I think, you know, digital is just getting better. But it's strange, the conveniences of just like you're saying earlier, Jay, when you mix vinyl, just blending something and knowing like, oh man, I only have an 8-bar break at the top.
Yeah, man.
Every time it's done, I gotta
done. You gotta hurry up and try to mix out. What do you mean done? You gotta like, man, oops, I don't have that long anymore.
Right. And the beauty of just being able to I'm just gonna keep hitting this cue point, or I've got it locked in a loop and I can just there's my transition point. I'm already there. Like, you know, just the fact of taking out, just being able to go to any place in the song you want. It's amazing. It opens up so many doors.
You could jump to your transition point. Boom.
But it's really amazing to think, guys, we all know because we did it ourselves. Like we achieved these kind of things before cue points. We were putting stickers on records.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, I still kind of bug out when I look at old DJ battles and routines, the things that we do to like make things happen. And something I think is really, really amazing. You know, what people did before the technology was there, you know, so but it makes me appreciate technology even more, you know. I don't want to sound like being negative, but I do like to talk about
sound
you know
negative.
like hey,
you lead it
they
that
gotta
way.
know Kids got to know, No, but for real, like I mean, just the fact that I remember how accurate Short was putting a sticker on a groove.
Yeah, man. Wow.
I had him do that for me for several
Hell
battles
yeah,
because
all
I
of us
couldn't
did
do
it.
it like Short did. He had a knack for like putting that sticker exactly so you drop the needle and dude, I'm right there.
He did a couple of mine too.
And that was your cue point.
Amazing. Like I don't know how he
Short
did that.
was sick with
Yeah,
that.
he was. He was.
Sick, yeah.
He used to break out the tweezers and like, he had it down tight. Yeah.
I even had a chance to hang
Shout
out.
out to Shortcut.
Shouts out to
What
Short.
up, Short?
In Dubai right now.
Dubai. Shout out to
Dubai,
Dubai.
shortcut.
You're out there short.
He's anywhere but home. You know what I'm saying? But not too long ago, I got to chat with one of our good homies, DJ Noise from Denmark.
Oh, noise.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Legendary.
They used to cut their records,
king.
though.
Yeah, I talked to him about that. So he
Yeah.
was telling me he had access to,
A
awesome,
circular saw.
a national music library. So he, you'd wonder how would someone even get ill records like that over there. So, but him and his boys literally would cut records, stack them on top of each other to save that time between having to flip between records on top of putting a nice marker to just hit your grooves. It's pretty amazing. Now we have 8 cue points on any given song.
Remember when it was only 4, though?
There's only 4, yeah.
Color coded now. And
Color
just,
coded.
It's amazing. It's
It was
amazing.
4, then it was 6, now there's 8.
And only, 4 loops?
Yeah, it used to be only like 4 loops. No,
Was
it was.
it?
No, it was
Yeah, I
always
think
like
you're right.
8.
It was
Yeah,
4.
was it 4 loops?
No, there only used to be 4, I think. Yeah.
Now it's up to 9 loops on each track.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, 9.
that's where we're at now. 9 loops.
Yeah.
Man, there's so
Just
many.
in case,
There's,
man.
hey,
Just in
man, there's so
case.
many times I'm like, I'm on my 9th loop. Like, damn, that's it. I need one more loop.
I need one more loop, man.
If
That's
I only
the
had
thing,
one more loop.
I was gonna say, like, how do you guys feel about that? Like, I feel like it's almost as much as it's getting better. I feel like with each new version of Serato,
I'm telling
that
you,
comes
man.
out,
That's
or
why you
each
got to
new
bring
mixer,
vinyl back, man.
They're like, they just keep piling on the bells and whistles, and now
Bring
it's like
back that
overwhelming.
vinyl.
And just like, there's probably 1,000 things that I just don't know how to do or just don't even use. Like,
Yeah.
Well, you ever
I feel
try Tractor?
I think I might have back in the day.
I have.
Hella complicated.
Yeah, it's not
It
user,
can do
not-
anything.
Not
It can
user
do
friendly.
anything,
Not
though.
user
I remember
friendly.
maybe
at all.
trying to scratch on it, but not like
Tractor's
actually
still
trying
around,
to.
right? I'm
Yeah.
thinking the
Yeah,
same
Tractor's
thing.
still
very
around.
much,
Yeah.
very
I think
much.
Q uses that, right? Is
That's
it
what
Q?
Crazy's on. Crazy's on that.
DJ, I actually was
And
with
Q,
DJ Dummy. DJ Dummy was on that, and what I will say with Tractor is I've noticed 2 things. Is it has all it's more complicated than Serato. Serato's basically Mac, and then Tractor would be a PC.
for sure.
So it has a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff's been being incorporated into Serato,
Okay.
but a lot of the stuff
That Tractor's been doing for a while.
yeah, that Tractor's already been doing for a minute. But one thing that they have on Tractor that DJ Dummy was using a little bit here and there was they have you can basically play multi-tracks, like your track. Yeah, you have stems. Yeah, you have stems on it, so you can have a track and have bass, vocal, and something else, and then break
Oh, a
it.
way to control it.
Yeah,
Wow,
you have a way
really?
to control it while you're DJing live.
You have to load the stems, or it'll strip.
You
the
make
track
it. You
into-
have to. There's a program, and you make it, and
Okay.
this and that, and the third.
But then you
But
can separate it while
but
it's playing.
there's
and
a-
then you
that-
can use it.
that
to-
possibility is there
That's
for
pretty
for
sick.
live
Yeah, that's sick
with
for
a
live.
drummer or a band or something. And then also, he was able to play a click track while he was DJing.
What?
With the I don't get it either, man. He was because we were playing with Kareem Riggins and some other drummers,
yeah.
and they wanted that in their headphones the whole
Like a
time.
metronome.
Yeah, and it was just crazy to me to watch him on that, which was a whole nother language than what I'm on. Serato's easy breezy for me. You throw us in front of that Tractor, we're like, what
What
the
is this?
Yeah.
Foreign land here.
airplane right now?
I know you're saying like it's almost like when you go back to DJing, like just DJing on records on vinyl. It's like you start to appreciate the simplicity more.
Oh yeah.
Just and like you were saying, Babs, like whether it's putting a sticker or only having 4 bars instead of like an 8-bar loop or whatever, like it's more of a challenge, and we always found a way to just figure it out.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like you always just figured it out. Like, and I feel like at the end of the day, it makes everybody a better DJ. Like it makes you
What
work
does?
harder, playing on records.
Oh,
Yeah. It makes you work harder. You know what I mean, and not having loops.
it used
or
to
cue
be the
points,
other
like-
way around.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
It used to be Serato made you a better DJ.
Yeah.
But you know, I like this place. I feel like here at the school, we found this place of like, you know, finding that dope medium between both worlds. You know, and I
No,
love,
for sure.
you know, and I love like, you know, we take all those good things from DJing from vinyl, and when you fuse it with all this technology we have, I think it's just a really unstoppable combination of skills that you can have. You
Agreed.
know,
Yeah.
you know, I still think depending on having basic skills like, you know, split listening, learning to read a visual marker on your record, just that combining it with the technology of a cue point and a loop is just revolutionary. You know what I'm saying? And but here's the thing, like it's a double-edged sword. It's a little dangerous to have all this technology, and a lot of DJs fall into this trap of letting their, you know, their hand skills diminish.
That's why I said it used to be the other way around.
Yeah.
It used to be
At first,
when you
it's like,
first
this
got
is great.
Yeah, because you know why? Is because when Serato first came out, it went directly into the hands of real DJs or DJs
Yeah.
that
That
were already
decade
established.
plus invested. Yeah.
Already established.
For sure.
And then once everyone has a laptop.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking before, like, why the hell did we have a laptop before? Back in those days, at least, AOL email.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That would be the most of it.
Just to record
And
and
then
make
Pro
music.
Tools really is what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we already had the laptop from Pro Tools, or our computer at home for Pro Tools.
Personal computer. Yeah.
So I think the beginning of Serato was this hardcore us, just motherfuckers just
Right.
getting up there. Wow, I got doubles of everything.
Everything.
And getting busy.
That's
yeah.
it.
But
all
then
right
once
there, yeah.
once you become the computer, everybody accessible and everybody, it's not that expensive for Serato. So
Yeah.
it just opens the door, which is dope. It just opens the door for
It's good and
more
bad.
people that don't, like
Right.
you were saying, really understand the craft or
Or even passionate about it. Or,
they don't
yeah.
understand the history of it. I would just say anyone DJing and they just are learning how to DJ is basically what you guys teach is to learn the fundamentals first
Yeah. Learn how to use your ears.
before you would even attempt to get out in front of people and trying to blend. And you know, I've seen people DJ with the sync button and still be terrible, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sure, for sure.
Sync
Coming
button-
in on the wrong bar, coming
Right,
in
on
on
a measure. Like,
yeah, you coming in on bar three.
The sync button
Yeah.
doesn't teach you any of
Two.
that. How to program, what bar to come
Choruses
in
overlapping.
on. Yeah, with verses and
Who's
yeah.
down with OPP? Yeah, you. Let me know. Coming in the juicy, you're like,
Vocal clash.
yeah,
It was all a dream.
you know me.
I do remember though when Serato first came out, that there was a lot of DJs that I respect that really lost a lot of skills just because they became dependent on looking at that screen. Even with not only just with mixing, but with also just doing doubles. I see a lot of DJs. I won't name any names, legendary names right now, but they become dependent on that
Oh, we
screen.
need the name for the headline. Mr. Chalk calls out.
No, we're not going to do that. But yeah, man, I think that just is very important to like really keep your skills up and don't become dependent on that screen. Learn how to use your ears and come to us and get your skills right.
Yeah, y'all.
Okay, nice plug.
Yep.
Yeah,
Because
well,
we're coming to the end.
yeah, we got to wrap this up. Episode 1 of Building Better DJs.
What?
Remember, we are the Beat Junkies.
We're done already?
Yeah, check
Yeah.
us out though. This is only the first one. Many more to come, right, guys?
A lot
We'll be
more
back.
to come.
Right.
But make sure to check us out. Beatjunkies.com. Check out our record pool. Beatjunkies.tv is our online school. Beatjunkiesound.com
Yeah.
for our actual school, Beat Junkie Institute Sound. And shoot, guys, thanks for tuning in.
Yep.
Peace, peace.
Good night, y'all.
more.
Beat Junkie
Easy.
Sound.